August 4th is the feast of St. John Vianney. St. John Vianney is known as the first diocesan priest to be canonized a saint in the church. A diocesan priest, which is what I am, means that I am attached to a region called a diocese under the guidance, the shepherd, who is known as a bishop. And the bishop is the descendant of the apostles. This is opposed to like a religious order like the Jesuits or the Dominicans or the Franciscans, who are more part of an organization. They don't really have boundaries so much as they are part of this organization, and they report to a superior. So there's a little bit of a difference there. Now, there's a lot of order priests that are canonized and not so many diocesan priests. That's because the orders often have the resources to dedicate men and women to canonizing their founders or canonizing popular people within their religious order, like St. Francis Xavier or even modern Dominicans, or like St. Therese of Lisieux, who the Carmelites had. Diocesan priests don't necessarily have that. We're working in parishes. The diocese's resources are geared toward that. It costs a lot of money, and you have to have people dedicated to the whole process of canonization because they go through those people's lives with a fine-tooth comb. So diocesan priests don't always have people that will take up their cause for canonization the same way that a religious priest does. So it's very special that we have St. John Vianney, who is the patron saint of parish priests, patron saint of seminarians, and he's a diocesan priest who was canonized. So not to say that diocesan priests aren't holy, it's just that we're busy doing other things than canonizing each other. So anyway, St. John was born just before the French Revolution in 1786, and he grew up seeing priests who defied the suppression of the church in the French Revolution, and he saw those priests as heroes, and he kind of wanted to be one from that point on. And so he went to school, and he wasn't very bright in school, couldn't get math or Latin or any of that kind of stuff, and before he could go to seminary, was actually drafted into the French army twice. Once he couldn't go because he was sick. The other time he couldn't go because he went behind the house to pray or something like that and got lost and ended up in a camp for deserters for the next 14 months. Eventually he was given amnesty, as were all the deserters of that particular time, and he went to seminary and was eventually ordained in 1815. And became the pastor of Ars, the parish priest of Ars, in 1818, so just 3 years later. Ars was just this little middle-of-the-nowhere town in the Diocese of Lyon, France, and he only had 230 people, and he preached about all sorts of things about fixing their lives. There was a lot of dancing and debauchery and all these kind of things that were especially happening on Sundays. And eventually the town experienced a great conversion because of St. John Vianney, and his piety actually spread around France, and up to 20,000 people a year would come to see him. He would spend hours and hours, up to 16, 17 hours a day in the confessional. In fact, there was kind of a joke during Lent to see who gets the St. John Vianney Award. That is the priest who gets to hear the longest set of confessions. The last priest to be done with confessions at a penance service gets the John Vianney Award. Finally, he had a great devotion to the Eucharist and the priesthood. He said if you understood what the Eucharist was, you would die because you'd be overwhelmed by love. And he died in Ars and as the pastor, and is buried there in Ars. So I do recommend that you get to know St. John Vianney. He's a great patron of parish priests and of seminarians, and a great person to know. Get to know him and other saints every Wednesday night on my website with Wednesdays with Wagner, which is a live, interactive Bible study. You can ask me questions via a chat on the side, or you can email them to us, and I hope to see you there. Thanks.